Science tells us that ancient humans were not stupid at all. In fact, they were incredibly intelligent. They learned how to control fire at a time when there were no teachers. They shaped stones into tools that helped them hunt animals much larger than themselves. They discovered ways to survive the deadly cold of the Ice Age, taught important skills to their children, planned together, and traveled thousands of kilometers to reach new lands. People with weak minds could never have done all of that. But this leads to a surprising question. If ancient humans were really so smart, why did it take them nearly 300,000 years to build civilizations? Why didn't they build cities earlier? Why didn't they start farming sooner? Why did new inventions appear so late? Was it because they were not intelligent enough? Not at all. The real reason was something else. And once you understand it, you may realize that if you had lived back then, you probably would have lived the same way. The first reason was food. Today, we can buy food from a store in just a few minutes or order it with our phones. But for ancient humans, every new day started with one question. Will we find enough food today? They spent hours chasing animals, searching forests for fruits, roots, and seeds, and many days they still returned empty-handed. Sometimes an injured animal escaped. Sometimes herds changed their route. Sometimes there was simply no large animal to hunt for days. According to archaeologists and anthropologists, the lives of hunter-gatherers were full of uncertainty. Every day was a struggle to survive. And when all your time and energy goes into feeding your family, there is little time left to build cities, create roads, or spend years working on new inventions. But this raises another question. If food was the biggest problem, why didn't ancient humans just start farming earlier? After all, how hard could it be to put a seed into the ground? Today it seems easy because we already know the answers. We know which seeds to plant, when to plant them, how much water they need, which soil is best, and when they will be ready to harvest. But ancient humans did not have this knowledge. To them, everything was a mystery. They did not know which wild plants could be grown into useful crops. They did not know which seeds would grow again the next year, which plants would die quickly, or which ones were poisonous. Scientists say there were millions of plant species in the world, but only a small number could eventually be domesticated and farmed successfully. Planting one seed was never enough. They had to try again every season. They made mistakes. Crops failed. Sometimes the rain never came. Sometimes animals ate the crops. Sometimes months of hard work produced nothing. That is why farming was not a sudden invention. It was the result of thousands of years of testing, failure, and careful observation. Archaeologists believe that people in different parts of the world experimented with wild wheat, barley, and many other plants for thousands of years before farming slowly became successful. So the problem was never a lack of intelligence. The problem was that nature had not yet revealed its secrets. Now imagine that humans finally learned how to farm. Food became more reliable. People started living in one place. But another question remains. If people had solved the food problem and learned farming, why didn't great civilizations appear right away? The third, and perhaps most important reason, was the climate. Today, we live in a world with a fairly stable climate. But thousands of years ago, Earth's climate was very different. Until the end of the Ice Age, the weather changed again and again. There were periods of extreme cold, long droughts, and sudden changes in rainfall. In these conditions, farming was very risky. One year you might have a good harvest, but the next year the weather could destroy everything. That is why people were afraid to settle in one place for too long. If the crops failed, they had to leave their homes and search for food somewhere else. Scientists believe that around 11,700 years ago, when the Ice Age ended and the Holocene began, Earth's climate became much more stable. This change gave humans the chance to stay in one place for longer periods. When the climate became stable, farming became more successful. When farming improved, people could store extra food. When food was stored, the population grew, villages appeared, then cities were built, and eventually the world's first great civilizations were born. So civilizations did not appear late because ancient humans were less intelligent. They appeared late because humans had to overcome three challenges that were beyond their control. The first challenge was finding enough food every day. The second was the long and difficult journey of learning agriculture. The third was Earth's unstable climate. Only after these three problems slowly came under control did human history enter a new chapter and civilizations begin to grow. History teaches us an important lesson. Intelligence alone is not always enough. Sometimes the right time, the right environment, and the right natural conditions are just as important as human intelligence. If you enjoyed this video and want to watch more documentaries about human history, archaeology, ancient civilizations, and science, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. And let me know in the comments, what do you think is the most amazing invention in human history, and why?